a teacher from your state there, Crystal.
Yeah.
Crystal's not responsible for everybody that's in the state, so we'll let her
Only
off on
most
that.
of them.
Just most.
Only the Christians and only the ones in North Carolina. There you go.
Wouldn't be all the Christians be in North Carolina? Well, she might be a Christian. We don't know. This is the way this is handled out. It was almost biblical. A teacher, a female 42-year-old woman, raped a 15-year-old boy. She's having sex with a 15-year-old boy. The 15-year-old boy admitted this, and the way she got out of being prosecuted over this, she married him. And she got off from being put in prison over this because they have a law in North Carolina that says that the husband and wife cannot testify against each other. So she basically got out of it. Now, I said this is biblical because in the Bible, if a man raped a woman and to get out of being stoned to death or imprisoned or whatever, he would do the right thing, the honorable thing by marrying the woman and buying the woman off from the family for 50 shekels. The mother of the boy in this story, I don't know if she was pressured, but she gave in to these people and said, oh, well, let me marry your son. 15 years old. And I don't know how old the boy was by the time this all got all the way through the courts. He may have been 17 at that time, and it takes time to get through the courts. And she just signed off, saying, okay, yeah, he can get married. It's like, if this was reversed, if this was a 42-year-old man and this was a 15-year-old girl, do you think anybody would say, hey, we did bad, why don't you sign off on your daughter? And I'll do the right thing and I'll marry her. Do you think that anybody in the world would say, oh yeah, go ahead, you just go ahead and marry my daughter, my 15-year-old daughter, the one you raped? This is rape, pure and simple. It doesn't matter if it's a boy, doesn't matter if it's a girl. At 15-year-old and you're over 18, it's fucking rape, period. Crystal, your thoughts?
Yeah, this child was a victim by many people. First, the teacher, and then his parents, which his mother signed off, but both of his parents agreed to this marriage.
Yep.
So I think that wherever the state's hands are tied, and in North Carolina they are very tied. You are talking about the age as far as it goes, Packard. It did say, I did look into this on a more local level after reading the original article and seeing the newscast on it. He was 15 when the affair started. They were 1 year into the prosecution.
Let's be clear on this. Let's be clear on this. This was not an affair. This was rape.
No, but I'm just reading from what the official thing. The official statement. This is actually a quote.
Oh, okay.
Which I would have gone back and said the same thing. So good point. But that was exactly it. He was 15, so he had turned 16 by the time that the marriage occurred. Mm-hmm. Mind you, this was a married lady, and no, you can't have two husbands in North Carolina. So she had to divorce her husband very quickly and then marry this child. Spousal privilege is not necessarily a great thing, and I'm not really a big fan of that in North Carolina, but I doubt it will ever get thrown out. So he doesn't have to testify against her.
Yeah, when I watched the video, they made an excellent point in there that if the child, let's say the two had a child and the child was abused or whatever, then the mother or the father could testify against the other. Then spousal privilege doesn't exist.
Right.
But if it's somebody else's child, their spouse, and you marry that child, the spousal privilege takes place there. And Wizard Todd in the chat room said call it statutory rape, basically, and that it is statutory rape. I don't know why. As far as I'm concerned, rape is rape. It's statutory. It just means the fact is you're underage. Two people underage. Let's say you had a boy and a girl, both the same age, 15, 16 years old, and they had sex. You know who'd get charged with the statutory rape would be the boy. The girl would be let off in that case. And usually,
but now she's only facing a misdemeanor.
Yeah, she's only facing a misdemeanor.
I mean, just taking indecent liberties, that's all she's going to be. She is not going to be forced to have a record with sex offenders.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to register for that. She doesn't have to do any of that.
Yeah.
She has got a slap on the wrist and walks.
Yeah. It's fucking sickening. And again, if this was the other way around, this wouldn't be permitted. This is fucking crazy.
I agree.
Crazy. Joe, your thoughts?
Yeah, my impression from this article is very similar to Crystal's. She was arrested in 2009 for having sex with her 15-year-old student. The criminal case chugged along for years. And in 2011, she separated from her husband of 19 years and then sought permission from the boy's mother to marry him. Now, the boy was still a minor at the time, and she needed his mom's signature of permission to marry him.
Right.
She got the signature, she married him, and now, 2013, the prosecutors are just now realizing, oh, crap, they're married.
Yep.
We've lost our case.
Yep.
We're only going to get her on this misdemeanor charge. So 2009 to 2013, that's 5 years. They were dragging their feet trying to prosecute this. In all that time, she was able to come up with this whole scheme where she was going to dodge everything by marrying this kid.
Yeah.
So
this is
wow. Like, what happened? Who dropped the ball on that?
That's what I'd like to know, and if they can be fired, or whoever dropped the ball on this thing needs to have their license taken away, or they need to be some tightening up on the laws.
Like they drug their feet for 5 years on a rape case. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I think the reason why is because a woman raped a male. And if this was the other way around, do you think there'd been a lot of foot dragging on this?
Castration. Double castration!
Nope, I think that's the one time where women, I mean, that's not a good thing, but where we have the hands up. If it is a case like this, they are not as hard on the women as they are on the guys.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. And it's, I've seen stuff like this happen all the time. And in some instances, yes, the opposite is also true, where the prosecution doesn't feel like they have a real good case, so they will drag their feet on it, and then the guy gets off. And I've seen that happen. I've known people who I've had this actually seen this happen to, and it's fucking amazing. It really is. It just blows my mind that people are allowed to get away with this kind of crap.